Great. Can everybody hear me like talking like this? Do I have to use a mic?
We can hear you here. I don't know about the back.
Okay. Well, just do this. The sound changes. All right. I have this little piece of paper. Why I have this little piece of paper is because while everybody else was presenting, I wanted to update my presentation as well. Because what I realized is, before I came on, I was unsure about my audience. But now actually hearing about most of your presentations, I'm a little bit more aware. With that said, I'm actually very happy to be here because of what you guys presented ahead of me. That being that a lot of you guys focus on data. And I'm going to mention why that's important to myself. And my presentation is actually going to be my summary. A lot of, I believe Hassan was talking about how his consultation mind works in very detailed aspects, and it's very difficult for him to summarize it. So is our technology. Our technology is so vast that it's very difficult to summarize, and I spent about 2 or 3 weeks trying to figure out how do I summarize this. So during my presentation, during my demo, even afterwards, there's going to be a lot of questions because my presentation is such a broad summary. If you have questions, I'm going to say that the answer to that question is yes. As long as yes means a good thing. Okay? So, I would like to begin. Our little slogan, Auto Smart Contracts using 3K Blockchain's Auto XML engine. And I will explain all of this. So, 3K Blockchain. What does 3K stand for? Key to the Kingdom of Knowledge. You like that? Thank you. So, what do we mean by this? Well, our company, what we specialize in, and what we believe in, is data. You get the idea, you know why now? This is why I was happy a lot of you guys spoke about that. Specifically, W3C XML data standard. When Tufi mentioned his presentation, he brought up all the agencies, and one of them was W3C. Glad that Tufi had that presentation slide. So why XML? A lot of people here are probably familiar with XML, so you're going to ask, this is going to be your first question, why XML? The answer is metadata, which is machine readable, which leads to big data, which leads to strong AI. This is the most basic concept. And considering the fact that tomorrow is AI decentralized, we left with this. So we have the XML data, but we're missing another piece. What is that other piece to the puzzle? That is the view. What's a view? Data is code, but people need to be able to see that. It needs to be human understandable. And in order for it to be human understandable, it needs to be available on a browser. Now, why a browser? The browser incorporates our 5 A's. Anyone, anytime, anywhere, any device, and any platform. Does anybody disagree? Don't answer. So we have XML, we have the view. Now, what is Auto XML? Auto XML is not old XML. It's our technology. That's why we made it Auto XML. Why do we add auto? Because Auto XML automatically does the following. Combines structured and unstructured data. Now, why is this important? I believe it was Ken? No, the previous presenter that talked about data and how there's so much data. A lot of that data is actually unstructured data. More specifically, 3% is structured, 97% is unstructured data. So by combining the two, we have something amazing. Auto XML also automatically creates the XML metadata with the view that I previously mentioned. So, content-based modeling. What do I mean by this? We have our own WYSIWYG style tool. Think of like PowerPoint. Think of that, you create the view first, and you're able to map each individual field. You're able to create your field, or you're able to incorporate over 300 different data standards. What happens after? You are able to create the web form-based contracts. This is just an example. You can use CSS to make it very pretty. This contract, you input the data, you can input whether it be images, music files, and so forth, which I'll show you very soon. And you put that through our Auto XML engine. What do you get? You get this, the view. You get this, the XML metadata. Now, why is XML important? If you take a quick look, you'll see that information using XML is tagged. Very detailed. You cannot say that about other data sources. For example, JSON. And what do we call this? Auto Smart Contract. Bringing it all back to our slogan, Auto XML, Auto Smart Contracts. So, the overview. And now it's demo time. Why demo time? Because at the end of the day, we believe in data, we believe in showing you rather than just telling you. And here we go. So this is one of our demos. Now this is not open to the public because it's our technology for now. It is open to some of our clients. If you ask nicely, maybe we would open it to yourselves. I'm going to show you 3 demos. Hopefully I have enough time. First one, PHR. Why PHR? Because I believe we have about 3 different presentations on help, which we're very happy about. So we have our smart contract. We'll go into my personal data, PHR.
Sorry, Alex.
Oh, I'm not linking? Sorry. What do I do?
Escape.
Hold on.
Sasha, can you switch it into mirrored mode instead of presentation mode?
There we go.
Okay,
here.
great.
Oh, hold on. PHR. This is our PHR example, or demo. PHR, personal health record, is very specific, like the previous companies talked about. And when we focus on PHR, we did this purposely because we also have experience in healthcare, and we also understand HL7. This being an example of PHR, now if we look at our source, we are able to see a bunch of words here. This being the unstructured data. Now if you look more carefully, which I will zoom up on, should learn how to do this. Can you see this down here?
Control plus.
Control what?
Control plus.
Control plus. Oh, there we go. We have the name, we have the social security number, we have the gender, we have all information combined with the unstructured data. And if you look even carefully, more carefully, you'll see something such as social security number being encrypted. We also have our own encryption technology. Now, Control minus, I'm assuming, right? There we go. Now that's interesting. Well, what about the incoming data? An example of health record. More specifically, Oak Hospital, Dr. Mark Johnson, MRI picture. Viewframe source, same thing. This picture, all this is metadata, and this big block of code right here is the unstructured data part. Same thing with medication and so forth. So we're able to incorporate all this and put it into your own PHR file, or record, more specifically. All right, now that was a little boring, so let's go a little bit more exciting. Yes, I'm going to do this in real time. Rental. We have two clients here. We have Will, please pay attention, and when I go into incognito mode, we have WS Kang. Will is going to play the role of the admin or the host, and WS Kang is going to play the role of the client. Yes. Rental listing. Will is going to, oh sorry, WS Kang is going to message Will and say, I would like to rent. Whatever that number is. Send it. So that. I'm back at Will. I would like to rent for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will it, sure. Will is going to accept and he's going to create a contract. You guys all see this?
Yep.
Okay, great. Will's going to sign it, date it. You can see how we incorporated a link to YouTube, just for, but it could be also your own native video player, it does not matter. Terms, today is May 21st, 2018. 1 month, 1st, 2018. The amount is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put the deposit as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Deposit is more.
Deposit for the housing.
I think you put more deposit than the actual price, but it's okay.
Yeah. Thank you. That took about 10 seconds of my time. Create contract. Rental contract created. Now we go back to WS Kang. We go into Smart Wallet, my contracting. What do we have here? In progress. He is going to sign it, but before he signs it, he's going to take a quick look at it. You can even play the video if he wants. So forth. And he'll check the date. Today's date. 1 month later. The amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mine, the currency, coin, whatever, it doesn't matter. And deposit being 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to sign it. On the date. Go all the way down. Sign contract. Second. All right, so contract is signed. What do you have to do next? Pay the deposit. Checks it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To Will from WS Kang. So forth. I have about a ton of Ethereum, so it's no problem. And it's being processed. Sent. We'll play back to Will. Will is going to go into smart contract. My contract. I believe it's this one, number 6. Let's see if it's up yet. Oh, it's up. And this is the finalized contract signed by both parties. Again, the video is clickable. The information is there. And we have two additional fields at the bottom. One being the message, right? I would like to rent for 2, 3, 4, 5. The other being the deposit, the money that came in, the transaction, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Ethereum. And you can see the Ethereum information. All right. Now this example, you're going to ask a couple of questions. You're probably thinking, all right, how's this done? Are you really connected to Ethereum and so forth? Obviously, this is on a test network. Okay, if we wanted to, we could put this on an Ethereum test network or so forth. But let's take a step further. What about the information? Ethereum smart contract addresses are not able to handle a mass amount of data. You're only really, it's pretty much valid just for the hash of that data. So where do you actually keep the file? Well, there's a company called IPFS. IPFS, and this is going to be an example. This is an example of one of our forms. Just quickly created. It's a global welfare. It's donating blood and so forth. Fill this information out. Hit save, and what it automatically does is it saves this image, goes to IPFS, comes back as an IPF hash, then takes the whole form and the image and sends it back to IPFS and comes back as an IPF hash, and then that is where the data is being held. As well as we're able to link the hash of that and store that in the Ethereum smart contract address. Which, if I did do this, because IPF is slow, it would take about 7 minutes. So I created one ahead of time. That being this. And here we go. If you look at the above address, that is not my address. I'll show you that one more time. My address is POC data farm. This address is IPFS. Okay, great. So I can pull up the file. Now let's show the source. This source, if you see it right now, you will see that this is in metadata. And more specifically, I'll zoom in. The information, name, Tufi Kang, institution, Toda, CEO, and all sorts of other information, as well as the signature.
You revealed my true identity.
Yes, I know. Now what's very interesting is if you look at the file, I'll open up another one. You see how there's a total image? And remember I told you how the file, the image goes to IPFS, comes back as a hash, and then the whole form, including the hash, goes back and comes back as a hash? That is what you can see down here. This hash right here is Toda's logo. Okay, now we're done with the demos, and I'm almost done with my presentation. And now we're going to get to the interesting part. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. So, the current system, as I believe a lot of people should know here, is the database model, or what I would like to call the manual model. We have structured data coming in, gets programmed into a DB, then gets programmed out in order to create the view that the end user can see. If you want to exchange that data, you program it back out into XML, send the XML document, then program it back into a DB, program it back out in order to create the view. What do? From the beginning, we create the view, which I showed you with the WYSIWYG tool, but we're also able to take in structured and unstructured data, run it through our auto XML engine, and automatically create the XML metadata with the view that the user can see right away. What is missing? The P. If you want to exchange that data, you can send that file right away, and that the other party is able to see that right away. I know there's a lot of information here that's missing. The answer again is yes. So, now the interesting part, which is why we're all here. The baby, like Tusi said, the 3K blockchain and Toda. So we have the metadata, XML metadata with the view, or what we like to say, the auto smart contract. Toda is able to securely, thank you for putting this up here, efficiently, confidentially, and with scalability, able to move my auto smart contract around. That is the end of the Toda part. And hold on, I'm just going to leave out this one slide that I added. So my summary to my summary right now, which I added this just about 5 minutes ago, is what we're able to do, and what I actually love this slogan is, we are distributive technology that disrupts technology. That is what 3K is. Thank you.
Before we get to the Q&A, I would like to invite this 3K software team just up for a quick picture. They came all the way from Korea a few days ago, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed 50% of the population of Korea is here. It's in the process of doing that peace thing and merging South and North Korea together. So, thank you. This is, Will, why don't you introduce everyone?
Yeah, I'm Will Kang. I work for 3K Software, as you know. I'm the management director. And the one who just done the presentation is Alex Kang. And then we have Chairman King. He's the one that actually developed all this technology by himself. So it's an amazing technology you have just seen. And then we have Yuri Lee. She's also working for 3K Software as a communication director. And then we have John Kim. He's also in the 3K as a business development.